right, let's jump right in. Welcome to the explainer for what was an absolutely historic, nail-biting clash at the 2026 World Cup. We're breaking down this incredibly intense Group A matchup between Mexico and South Korea. It was a game literally defined by a tight tactical battle, an overwhelming home field atmosphere, and, well, one incredibly costly error that kind of shifted the entire tournament. So let's get into it. And here is the absolute biggest takeaway right out of the gate. Mexico has qualified. They've officially carved their name into the history books. They are the very first team to punch their ticket to the 2026 knockout stage by taking all 3 points here and topping Group A. But you know what's really fascinating? This monumental achievement wasn't driven by some flurry of goals or a massive offensive onslaught. No, actually, it was decided by a single, explosive, and completely unexpected moment. Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, setting the stage and the stakes. So even before a single ball was kicked, you could literally feel the tension. It was palpable for both managers, Javier Aguirre and Heung-min. Looking at the stakes, these two teams were just in an entirely different situations. Coming off a comfortable win, Mexico was sitting pretty. They only needed a draw to secure their progression. South Korea? Well, they were feeling the heat. They desperately needed a win to take control of the group. And honestly, that pressure was heavily compounded by the lingering questions surrounding their star captain, Heung-min, who looked pretty noticeably frustrated in their last match. And we absolutely have to talk about the environment. 45,522 passionate fans packed into the Estadio Akron. It was a complete sea of green, creating this undeniable, super intimidating home advantage for Mexico. You could literally hear the roar right through the broadcast. It was deafening. To put that into perspective, it's like a small city screaming all at once. Moving on to Section 2, a tactical first half. So despite that roaring crowd fully expecting a shootout, the first 45 minutes gave us a completely locked down game. It was so cautious, it actually drew boos from the crowd right before the halftime whistle. And here's why. South Korea came out with a highly disciplined, super compact 5-4-1 defensive block. Mexico really wanted to push the tempo, but South Korea just completely choked off the central passing lanes. Every single time Mexico tried to move forward, it was like they hit a solid brick wall. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this number right here, 0.22. That is the combined expected goals, or XG, for both teams in the entire first half. I mean, that is stunningly low for a World Cup match. This wasn't some thrilling display of attacking football. Actually, scratch that. It was a high-stakes, nerve-wracking chess match where honestly neither side was willing to blink first. To really drive that point home, there were only 5 total combined shots before halftime. 5. Neither goalkeeper was truly tested. But, you know, this tense, almost uneventful first half was actually just winding the spring tight. It perfectly set the stage for the sheer drama that was about to unfold right after the break. Which brings us to Section 3, the 50th minute and a fatal blunder. Just 5 minutes into the second half, the game completely exploded. We got a catastrophic turning point. So let's break this disaster down forensic style. Step 1. It starts totally harmlessly. Mexico's Julian Quinones lofts an innocuous cross. It's a high ball, nothing particularly dangerous. Step 2, South Korean goalkeeper Seung-gyu makes a split-second, disastrous decision to rush off his line. Step 3, he collides mid-air with his own defender, dropping the ball loose right into the penalty box. And Step 4, waiting right there, is Mexico's Luis Romo, who just takes a calm, over-the-shoulder volley and taps it into the empty net. Unbelievable. Right place, right time. Seriously, that is the absolutely perfect way to describe Luis Romo in that exact moment. He didn't have to pull off some spectacular bicycle kick or weave past 3 defenders. He just had to be composed and opportunistic. And frankly, it's these punishing, unelaborate moments that so often dictate the fate of teams on the World Cup stage. Just a simple tap-in, and everything changes. Let's look at Section 4, the frantic late push. So, suddenly down 1-0 because of an entirely avoidable mistake. South Korea's game plan had to change immediately. It turned into this frantic push for an equalizer for the final 40 minutes. But in the midst of that chaos, look at this shocking statistic. 21. That's the total number of touches superstar Son Heung-min had in this entire match, the absolute lowest of any starting outfielder. He was, for all intents and purposes, invisible. And because of this, in the 57th minute, we saw something incredibly rare. Son was actually substituted out for Heung-gyu. Now, I want you to think about that for a second. Was subbing off your talisman, your captain, the right call when you are down a goal in the World Cup? I mean, talk about a brutal dilemma for Coach Hong. Do you leave a struggling superstar on the pitch, just hoping for a quick moment of magic, or do you make a ruthless, pragmatic tactical change? Well, looking at the data, that tactical shift actually sparked something. After the blunder and the substitutions, South Korea generated 0.69 expected goals, compared to Mexico's 0.48. They were a massive threat in the closing stages, creating these absolutely heart-stopping chances from Cho and Young that just barely missed the mark. And hey, we definitely have to give credit where it's due. Goalkeeper Kim Seung-gyu tried desperately to redeem his earlier mistake. As Mexico countered, Kim literally kept his team alive with a pair of masterclass saves. He had this outstanding point-blank denial on Raul Jimenez and then an incredible full-stretch diving save against Obed Vargas. He did absolutely everything in his power to make amends, but sadly the damage was already done.
Finally, Section 5, Key Takeaways and Final Standings.
So the crucial point is, when the final whistle blew, the confetti rained down and the stadium just erupted into chants for Mexico. Pulling back to look at what this all means for the tournament, Javier Aguirre's tactical discipline absolutely laid the foundation, but one entirely avoidable blunder shattered South Korea's night. And for Mexico, the implications are just huge. By securing the round of 32 at the Azteca, they guarantee their next match will be played on home soil. That home advantage is going to be a massive weapon moving forward.
Let's look at the final Group A table. Mexico is sitting beautifully at the top with 6 points and a guaranteed spot in the next round. South Korea remains in second with 3 points, while Czechia and South Africa trail with 1 point each. This sets up an incredibly tense final match day for South Korea. They now face a really difficult path where they simply must get a result against South Africa. It's do or die.
Which leaves us with the ultimate question as we wrap up this explainer. Can South Korea actually survive and advance in this tournament if Heung-min isn't playing at his absolute best? Or did Coach Hong actually find a new, better blueprint in the second half today? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so drop your debate in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our daily explainers as the World Cup rolls on. Thanks for hanging out with us today, and we'll see you in the next one.